Friday, people. Friday. The weekend is here. This is the Fandom Empire Show. Thank you for tuning in for the next probably 40 minutes or so to sit down. We're talking the Batman. Not just the Batman, the movie, but the year 2022 for the character, the Batman. We're talking Halloween H2o, a sequel. We're not saying it's in the works, but I will say that Braden Timmons' fan film, The Haddonfield Nightmare, definitely made me a believer that you could make an official sequel to Halloween H2o that is not Halloween Resurrection and still have it pay off. So yeah, we're going to be talking all sorts of things, plus taking your questions. If you want to support the channel, feel free to send in a super chat and support us on that level, or check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Fandom Empire right there. Yes, I still have a cold. It's very, you can tell, it's in my voice. Apologies. Anyways, this is the Fandom Empire Show. I'm Sean. Thanks for tuning in. Let me, one moment. There we go. That's a bit better. How's everybody doing? Episode 2, the Fandom Empire Show. I know doing this in the afternoon might not be ideal to some, but for me, I'm about to be on the road for most of the day to go pick up my oldest, and he's going to get to see Halloween Kills for the first time tonight, or tomorrow night. It'll be one of the two nights, so he's looking forward to that. It's weekend. It's weekend. We got to start off with some shitty news, though. It's a shit way to start, but let's dive into it. William Lucking, who you probably is probably best known, at least recently, for his role as Piney Winston on The Sons of Anarchy, passed away on October the 18th. It was not known to the public at that time. I believe most of the public just found out yesterday. This one sucks. I mean, look, when you're 80 years old, you've lived a long life, you've lived a full life. That doesn't mean it doesn't suck any less. Obviously, our thoughts are with William's family during this time and friends. This one just sucks on a personal level, because I don't know about the rest of you, but I was just a huge Sons of Anarchy fan. Like, if Sons of Anarchy's on, I'm watching it. I've probably watched that series through, I don't know, 3-4 times. Piney's in 4 seasons of it. William was just fantastic in the show, playing one of the first 9 in Sam Crow, and it just sucks. It also is a bit of a, I wouldn't say slap in the face, but it's a shock to your system when you realize the last time William would have been on Sons of Anarchy is like 11 years ago, which is just insanity to think about how fast time goes. Time stops for nobody at the end of the day, and that might suck, but it's reality. For me, Sons of Anarchy is one of the best TV series ever made. It's definitely, like, for me personally, a top 10 show. I thought the chemistry that William Lucking, brought to the show with Ryan Hurst, who played Opie, who is Piney's son in the show, like, their chemistry on screen together was fantastic. It was totally believable that they were father and son. Totally believable that they were father and son who had spent too much time together. And I love these two together. I also love the dynamic that he had with Clay in the show. First of all, I mean, Ron Perlman is a fucking brilliant performer who very rarely ever mails it. Let everybody know right now we're having a little bit of an internet issue, so bear with us. Looks like we're still connected, but hopefully we don't disconnect. That'd be 2 shows in a row. I thought, the fact that, Sam Crow had, like, sort of two figureheads, if you will. You had Clay, who was obviously the villain, and then you had Piney, who was kind of like what was left of John Teller's version of the Sons of Anarchy in that show. Do we have any Sons of Anarchy fans in the chat right now. I love this show. I still need to rewatch it. My sister-in-law finally gave it a shot a couple months ago, and she ended up really liking the show. I do watch Mayans MC. I think it's a pretty solid spin-off. It's not Sons of Anarchy, but it's enjoyable. And again, it's just sad that William's time has come and passed, but I definitely will remember him most from the Sons of Anarchy. And yeah, again, thoughts are with William's family right now and friends. And thank you for all you gave to us. It was an incredible journey, not just in Sons of Anarchy, but the other things he was into. I believe he may have appeared in a Bond film. I don't know off the top of my head. I know he was in the A-Team, among other things. But again, rest in peace, William Lucking. All right. Halloween H2o, 20 years later. Anybody else old enough here to remember? Audio is a bit laggy, but not awful. It is saying we are having some connection issues, so we'll try to work through them. So does anybody here remember the marketing campaign for Halloween H2o? I'm old enough to remember it. It was pretty fucking nuts. Everybody was so stoked to go see another Halloween movie. And to be honest, whether you like her or not, everybody was thrilled at the idea of Jamie Lee Curtis returning. You know, she had star power then. Not that she doesn't now, but she really had it then. For me, if I was to give just like a quick review of Halloween H2o, it would be a movie that had lots of promise and failed to deliver. I know that there are huge Halloween fans out there who love this movie. I think I would go as far as to say that there are more people that like Halloween H2o than there is that don't. By the way, I see people are chatting in the chat. I will go back through the chat and answer your guys' questions once we get through the discussion topics. So feel free to send them in. I'll go all the way back. Again, if you want to support the channel, you can send in a super chat and support us on that level, or you can sign up for Patreon right there, patreon.com/Fandom Empire. Our next episode of Lambkin Lane is November the 14th, and we have some big-time Halloween End stuff that we're going to be talking about on that show. So we're looking forward to that. But anyways, back to Halloween H2o. For me personally, again, this is just my personal opinion on this movie. This was a movie that had lots of hype, lots of build-up, and just failed to deliver. I think the score in this movie is terrible. I don't like any of Michael's masks in this movie, except for the very brief time he wears the H6 mask, which is at the beginning, or at least some altered version of it. However, the beginning of this movie is great. You know, you start off with Mr. Sandman, you get Tom Kane with his Donald Pleasance impression, aka Dr. Loomis. That is the wrong button. No! That's the right button. Again, Halloween H2o's beginning with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then you had Marion Chambers in there as well, is great. I love the way this movie starts. The movie has a Halloween feel to it, and then it feels like it gets away from that. It actually kind of reminds me of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, the dream sequence, if you will, I think's fantastic. I think it starts amazing. And then everything after, it's just a downhill slope. And it feels that way in Halloween H2o for me personally. However, there's a character in this movie that I think you could do a sequel on. You can do a sequel to this movie, in my opinion, without Jamie Lee Curtis. And Braden Timmons and company over at the Haddonfield Nightmare just proved that. The Haddonfield Nightmare, which is their take on a sequel to Halloween H2o, which erases Halloween Resurrection from existence, is incredible. I loved it. I thought it was great. If I'm being completely subjective here, then I would say, or completely unbiased, I would say that I wasn't overly thrilled with how Michael was presented at times in the film. And yet they found a way to put together just an incredible film. It's getting so much love on YouTube. The fella whose name I cannot remember, Braden said it 10,000 times, playing John Tate in the Haddonfield Nightmare was fantastic. Totally believable that could be Josh Hartnett's character 20 plus years later. Now, the way Hollywood typically works is, even if Braden's film gets 10 million views and is widely successful, they're probably not going to reach out to Braden to make a sequel to Halloween H2o, although I'd be for it, and I'm sure Braden would be too. The idea is, could they do an official sequel to Halloween H2o? And I think they could with the formula that Braden presented. I do think if you brought back an aged and grizzled Josh Hartnett and Michelle Williams, who have their own family now, and you write off Laurie however you want to write her off, and you have Michael basically come after that new family many years later, I think you could do a grounded, gritty sequel to it. And Josh Hartnett and Michelle Williams would be almost like they're the characters that have survived and endured Michael Myers in this movie. Their kids would be affected by it, or maybe the kids aren't affected by it, much like Karen was in the new movies. Perhaps they haven't told the kids anything about it, which would make for a bigger surprise. I don't know about the rest of you. I would absolutely pay to go see a Halloween H2O sequel where the focus was Josh Hartnett and Michelle Williams. I would absolutely pay for it. I think it would be just absolutely fantastic. And not to mention, I totally believe that, and I mean this truly, I'm not just kissing Braden's ass. The Haddonfield Nightmare is a better film than Halloween Resurrection. And I don't think it's particularly close. I think the Haddonfield Nightmare is a way better sequel to Halloween H2O. And again, I there's a lot of rumors about Halloween going the anthology route after Halloween ends. I think the take on that, though, that people aren't necessarily understanding is the anthology route we might see still might be an anthology route that contains Michael Myers. Perhaps you get a different Michael Myers story every other year. I think there's a market for that. Some people might scoff at it, but the idea that they could go back and do a continuation to 6, and then they could do a continuation to H2O. Look, people that go to see Halloween movies, as much as all of us like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, or maybe you don't, I do, is they pay to go see Michael Myers. They want to see the shape. They want to see the boogeyman. And I don't blame them. I know when I go to see a Halloween movie now, even though I do love Season of the Witch, I want to see it because of Michael, that guy right there. He's the one that puts the asses in the seats. People want to go see Halloween for, a slasher. And I do think there's a way to do that where you're basically telling a different story every movie. And it doesn't even have to be the same Michael, right? It's not like you do a sequel to H2O and then the next one is a different sequel to 4 or something, that it needs to be the same Michael, just a different movie, and just space them out a bit. You don't need one every year. Don't fucking water it down like they've done with The Purge. And I'm not saying these talks are happening. There are talks of future Halloween content for sure, especially involving the Peacock streaming service. But I have no knowledge on them doing an anthology series where it would be Michael every year. Simply speculating that is a route that they could take that would work, in my opinion. I do think bringing back Josh Hartnett and Michelle Williams in a sequel, I'd be great for it. I think they're both terrific performers. I think they had chemistry in H2O. It'd be cool to see them all these years later together. You could cast they could have a big family. It could be a family of 4 or 5, and they have a bunch of friends. And it could be they could be on I almost want to now write a Halloween H2O sequel pitch. Obviously not to actually pitch it, but just for the channel here. Let me know in the chat below. Simple yes or no. Do you want me to put together a plot outline for a Halloween H2O sequel that surrounds Josh Hartnett's John Tate and Michelle Williams character? Simple yes or no. Do you want us to put that together and throw it out on the channel and see what you guys think? It wouldn't be done on the level of, say, what Dave McRae did on his channel for his sequel pitches. But it would be, just a fun little video to do, and maybe you guys and gals out there would like it. So let us know in the comment section down below. Do you want us to do our own Halloween H2o sequel pitch? Again, if you like Halloween H2o and you haven't seen it yet, go check out the Haddonfield Nightmare. It is live on YouTube right now. Braden Timmons and company did a spectacular job, and their intent is to continue that series. So I do look forward to seeing what they do over there. All right. Disney Plus Day. Disney Plus Day is next Friday, 1 week from today. And there are all sorts of rumors out there right now about what we might see on that day. A fun fact, by the way, we have a source here at the channel. I don't want to say who it is yet. We used to talk when we were at the other place. He'd give us a lot of Star Wars information, and he was kind enough to share some Star Wars Kenobi set photos with me yesterday. And one of them was of the Lars Ranch on Tatooine. So it's believed that on Disney Plus Day, we are going to get a Obi-Wan Kenobi teaser. Now, they just finished filming a couple months ago, and filming on Kenobi, they did use the volume, the stagecraft technology that Lucasfilm has developed, but it wasn't used for everything. So, to my understanding, it's about 50-50 in terms of what they used for that. But that also means for 50% of the shit that they shot, they would have had to have almost all the graphics ready beforehand. Maybe not in their finished form, but they would have had to have the graphics ready because that's how it's shot. Back in the day when they were doing the Star Wars prequel trilogy and even the sequel trilogy, all that would be done in post. But now with this new stagecraft technology, you got to have that stuff ready before you even start shooting. It does mean the turnaround time on these things are quicker, but the launch time takes longer. So I do believe that we are absolutely getting an Obi-Wan Kenobi teaser next Friday. I've been told, though, if you thought they didn't show much in the Book of Boba Fett teaser, you might not like this teaser because they're going to show even less. The fact is, this show is not slated to debut until May. And the date that I've heard the most is May the 4th, which just so happens to be a Wednesday. And as you all know, if you have Disney Plus, that is the day that they drop new content over on their channel. May the 4th is also Star Wars Day, and everybody for years have hyped about, what are we going to see on Star Wars Day? And it's never really been anything major. They've never really made proper use of that day. And now you have their most anticipated series by far that they're treating differently too in terms of marketing. They're not marketing Kenobi like they do Mando or like they do the Book of Boba Fett, because Kenobi is supposed to be a one-off. That's right. I'm saying it's supposed to be a one-off. We actually have some information on that that's going to drop out our other channel, Star Wars Fandom. If you haven't gone over there and subscribed yet, please do. Go check out Star Wars Fandom. If you're a Star Wars fan, head on over there, click the subscribe button, and support us over there. I'm going to see if I can find a link here. I'm not used. I see we have Maddie in the chat, but everybody else is currently a little busy, which means I'm sort of running this alone, and I'm still getting used to doing that. And I'm struggling terribly to find a link here, so bear with me. But yeah, the Disney Plus Day, November the 12th, Kenobi teaser is coming. Again, though, it's a teaser. It's not a full-blown trailer. If you are expecting to see shots of the, officially reported Kenobi versus Vader fight from the series, that is not likely to happen. Could you see Vader? I suppose it's a possibility, but again, I wouldn't count on it. It's early days for them over there, and you don't blow your load this early. The series is still about 6 months away, and I think there's definitely time to do more. Matt says he's on lunch till 12:50, so we have Matt for another 20 minutes, which is probably about how much longer the show will go. But again, Disney Plus Day, we're going to see a Kenobi teaser. Don't expect much. Obviously, you're going to get Ewan in the robe. You're probably going to... It wouldn't surprise me if the teaser is very Tatooine-centric. But I need to stress those that think that the Kenobi series is just a series that's going to take place on Tatooine. It is not. Those of you that wanted Kenobi to just stay on Tatooine for 20 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith that lead up to Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, that does not happen. He leaves. That's absolutely a thing. But I'll say this, the reason he leaves is for a very good reason. And it's also expected that we will get the announcement of the Crimson Dawn animated series, which is starring Sam Witwer as Darth Maul. If the announcement doesn't come on Disney Plus Day, you can bet it'll be coming shortly after. However, there are supposed to be a few announcements about new projects. And while I do believe Crimson Dawn is one of them that we're going to hear next week, one that I don't think we're going to hear next week is Timothy Olyphant in the lead of Rangers of the New Republic. It sounds like Rangers of the New Republic has taken a backseat to the rest of the shows. A lot of people thought it was supposed to be Gina Carano as the star of that one. Obviously, there was issues with her behind the scenes, which led to her being dismissed. And yeah, so although Timothy Olyphant is rumored to be in the Book of Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett is going to have a bunch of stuff for Disney Plus Day, including a documentary at the look behind the dented helmet and the man behind it, aka Tamara Morrison, starring as Boba Fett. Also, Disney Plus Day is expected to show several Marvel projects and also confirm new Disney Plus originals, which some people might be surprised with some of the stuff that comes there. We'll have to wait and see. Again, that is next Friday, November the 12th. We will probably be doing something on our other channel, Star Wars Fandom, for that. Again, if you haven't yet, head on over to Star Wars Fandom, click the subscribe button, check out what we're doing over there. It would mean a lot to support us on that level. All right, it's main event time. It's the featured topic of this show. It's the Batman. The character, the Batman specifically, not just the movie. The Batman, the character, in my opinion, and some people will challenge this, but in my opinion, is about to have its biggest on-screen year that it has ever had. The Batman, or Batman, pardon me. Every time I say the Batman, I immediately think of the Robert Pattinson movie. But Batman has a huge year coming up. And I just want to know what your excitement level is for this. Michael Keaton returns as the Caped Crusader in the new Flash movie. But that's not all, because Ben Affleck is also returning as the Caped Crusader in the new Flash movie. And I know there are a ton of Batfleck fans out there. I actually quite like Ben Affleck as Batman and as Bruce Wayne. The problem is we didn't get very much of him. We get him in Batman versus Superman. We got him in the Justice League, if you will, which I didn't think was particularly any good. And then Zack Snyder's Justice League, I liked much better than whatever that shit show was they released prior to that. So you have Keaton returning, which people have clamored for years and years and years. God knows that wasn't a cheap paycheck to write off. And then you have Ben Affleck also returning in the same movie, but that's not all. You have Robert Pattinson debuting as the Batman in what I believe is the first of 3 or 4 movies. To me, this movie looks fantastic. I can't believe how fucking good this movie looks. Again, there are some people that'll go, oh, hey, the Twilight guy, let's not get our hopes up over this. I can honestly say, again, because this is the first movie in a series of movies, that Robert Pattinson in the Batman and the marketing that we've got for this movie so far, if you compare it to the marketing of Batman Begins, and if I had to pick one or the other without having seen the Batman, I would pick the Batman. The Batman has definitely sold me. I am worried, though, because when you get sold this early in front of a project that's been delayed multiple times, obviously due to the pandemic, that you're bound to be let down a little. I hope that's not the case. I really do. I'm so excited for this movie. And I think a lot of people are going to be quite surprised at the jaw-dropping twist they drop at the end of this movie that will lead to future projects. Let me ask you guys in the chat, what are you most excited for, whether you're watching live or you're watching after the fact, are you excited for Michael Keaton's return as Batman in The Flash? Are you more excited for Ben Affleck's return as Batman in The Flash? Or are you more excited for Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves, the Batman? If you had to pick one of the three, which one are you going with? For me, it's the Batman first. Then it's probably Keaton's return, which I hope they do right and that it doesn't come across corny at all. And then it would be Batfleck. I'm happy that Batfleck gets some love. Also, don't forget, before we get to Q&A here on the show, now's the time to get your questions in, by the way. I do see there's a few super chats in there. The Kenobi series, we have a video about it. It's about to drop over on the Star Wars Fandom YouTube channel. Go over there and subscribe. We actually have a rumor, a fresh rumor that I don't believe has been put out there by anybody else yet. I'd have to check all of YouTube to see that, but be on the lookout for that. All right. Q&A time, everybody. Q&A time. Let's see what we got going on here as I try to get all this stuff to work. All right. There we go. Let's go back and see what everybody's saying. I'll answer the super chats first. Jay says, Haddonfield Nightmare, top tier horror film, not just a fan film. I mean, to be clear, it is a fan film, but it doesn't present itself as one at all. Braden Timmons and everybody over there deserve all the credit in the world for how well that film came off. It truly is a spectacular piece of work. We actually just announced, hang on, let's see if I can share this with you guys. While speaking about our own film here, we actually just announced over on the Fandom Empire Den that we have completed filming on the Haddonfield Slayer, and that Haddonfield the Vanished has been renamed the Haddonfield Vanished, and there's still a long way to go on that, but we wanted to give you a sneak peek. So what we did is we repurposed a lot of the footage that we shot last year, plus shot additional material a couple weekends ago to combine with it. And we're releasing that as the Haddonfield Slayer. There should be a trailer coming out for that in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then you might see the movie. I'm just going to say it now. We're aiming for New Year's Eve. We're aiming to release the Haddonfield Slayer on New Year's Eve, which I think would be a fun day to release it. And then the Haddonfield Vanished will go back into production. Everybody who's still waiting on Indiegogo perks, you will all get that. And then bonus stuff, too, because you weren't at all prepared for the Haddonfield Slayer, and we wanted to get that short done. And so for everybody that supported us over on Indiegogo, we have some bonus stuff for you guys. So just be patient with us. We had to work through a pandemic. A little different up here in Canada than it is in the States. Things are finally opened up here. Let's hope that it stays that way. But we wanted to share this image with you to give you an idea of what you can expect out of the Haddonfield Vanished. And don't forget that this is a sequel to Halloween 4, and we figured to properly do that, we needed to properly represent Halloween 4. And this is what we have to show you. So we, our friend Chris, who is a Patreon supporter at the highest level, the Fandom Addicts level, who is just a longtime diehard supporter of Fandom Empire, is working on a Halloween 4 mask for us. Can't wait to get this out there. And then after we're done filming, we're going to put it on display in the studio. And all I can tell you about the mask's finished product is it's going to have some burning on it, because if you remember at the end of Halloween 4, he falls down the mine shaft and they blow it up. It's not going to be burnt to the level of Halloween Kills, but it is going to be aged. It is going to be weathered. It's going to have cracking. It's going to have burning. And Chris and I just spoke today, actually, about what the finished product might look like. And we're definitely excited to get going on this. So it's nice to finally have some stuff coming to light for us. My whole point with this, though, is Braden Timmons' film is so good. And even you look at a film like It's Me, Billy, that Dave and Bruce did, those are just wonderful pieces of art done at a much higher production level than what we are shooting ours at. We hope that you enjoy our film, and we do think we're offering a level of uniqueness to it that you're not getting from other fan films necessarily. But if you're looking for like a super professional level fan film that could really be its own official film, that's not going to be what we're capable of doing. We've said that from the beginning. Go check out Braden Timmons and the Haddonfield Nightmare if you're looking for new Halloween content, because it really is wonderful. All right, let's dive back in here, see what we have with the... oh, that's a little loud. Let's see what we have with the chats. I think Matt sent in one. Our boy Matt Whitfield. Make sure you hit that like button. Show your love and appreciation for this ever-growing channel. Haddonfield Nightmare was awesome. It was. I want to make sure I do this through the proper channels, but I actually want to get an official 24 by 36 size poster of the movie. I could go create my own, but I want to make sure that Braden would be okay with that, and I want to put it on display in the studio. It truly looks amazing. All right, now let's go back here in the chat and see what we missed out on earlier on. All righty. Andy Chavez says, I just finished reading Halloween Kills novelization. To my surprise, they teased the tattoo of Thorn on Tommy's arm. Have you read the book, Sean? And do you have any thoughts about that? I have not read the book, nor do I own the book at this point. I love reading. I'm looking at a pile of Game of Thrones novels in front of me that you guys can't see off of camera. The problem with that is it takes time. And the whole reason we're doing afternoon streams now is because, well, quite frankly, I don't have a whole lot of free time anymore. So hopefully I'll get to it. If not, I'll definitely look into it. But I would say don't put too much stock into what you read in a novel, because there was stuff about the Myers house in the first Halloween novel that was retconned afterwards in Halloween Kills. So again, novels are fun, but at the end of the day, they're not really canon. Ken says, best intro music ever. I dig it, man. I dig it a lot. I like it. That's why we picked it. The Haddonfield Nightmare is the only sequel Halloween H2o needs. Best fan film I've seen in a while. Absolutely. I loved it. I cannot wait to see what they do next. Can we still have Busta in the sequel? Is my answer to that. It's going, man. It's going, doing decent. Braden and the whole crew kicked butt on that film. They deserve all the love right now. They absolutely do. Are you guys doing an Eternals review? I intend to see it. Again, I don't know when, though. I had to prioritize what I was going to see. We've seen so much. We've seen Halloween Kills. We've seen Bond. I'm drawing a blank here. We've seen other stuff this month, too. It wasn't just those two movies. We've seen Dune. We're going to go see Resident Evil. We're going to actually be doing, just to preview some of the content we have coming up on the channel, we're going to be doing Resident Evil videos. We're going to be ranking all the past movies, which include the animated movies. We're going to be ranking the games. We're going to do a movie preview and a movie review. We're going to do the same for Spider-Man No Way Home. We're going to rank all the previous movies, rank all the people that have played Spider-Man, rank the Spider-Man characters, preview the movie, and review the movie as well. So we have a bunch of shit coming up on the channel, and continued Halloween content, of course. While we are expanding into other fandoms, we're definitely still going to stay focused on Halloween when we can. Opie's dad, yeah, R.I.P. William Lucky. Lucking. I don't know why I keep calling him Lucky. Lucking. Piney. Marion Chambers sure as hell put a better fight in H2O than she did in Halloween Kills. Horns, sir. You get horns for that one. Gary Sim, I love H2O personally. Glad we got rid of the Thorn cult. Never liked Michael with the reason of the backstory, but that's just me. Nothing against people who like Thorn. I like Thorn. I dug Thorn. Didn't like H5 though. Let's see what we got here. Jamie says the Halloween Kills mob scene was too much. I understand that. I agree. Let's not forget Jimmy Champagne's Happy Halloween film. It was freaking awesome. It was, but it was a short, and the stuff they did on that was great, but I don't think it was the level of Haddonfield Nightmare. That's just me personally. But still, probably more than what you'll get from us. But again, we're going to try to approach ours from a little bit of a different perspective. I see Gary, Troy, and Ken all want us to do an H2O pitch, so that's cool. Jay already wrote a plot outline for a short for Halloween H2O a few years ago. I'm assuming he means a sequel. Sean, what do you think of the 1963 flashback in Halloween Ends retconning the time continuity error with Michael killing Judith at 10 p.m. when the kitchen said 9:25, possibly missing 35 minutes? Look, I've heard for a while now, and we've talked about it on the channel, on Patreon, and on here, that there was a 1963 flashback that would be in Halloween Ends. I would say be extremely cautious with anything that you've heard about Halloween Ends to this point, simply because they have changed a lot. Like a lot. You know how the best I can compare it to, different situations, but the best I can compare it to is The Rise of Skywalker. Anybody who thinks that the movie that came out was the original plan for The Rise of Skywalker, I'm sorry, it just wasn't. Got some swampland in Florida, I can tell you. They basically made an entirely different movie on a whim. And I'm not saying these guys are doing it on a whim, but I'm telling you, there is a Halloween Ends script leak out there. And the script that's out there is old. It's outdated. And most of the things in that movie have changed. The movie that you're going to get, hopefully next year, is quite a bit different than what they originally intended. Remember, Halloween Ends was originally intended to be on the same night as Halloween Kills. That is no longer the case. They're jumping 4 years into the future, and it's not just a 4-year time change. It's basically a completely different plot. Most of the same characters involved, old and new, and that the ending is vastly different. And some people who want a certain type of ending might not be pleased with what they get from that. Mark Ryan says, it's me, Billy, and Nightmare Hike Alone are way above the Haddonfield Nightmare in terms of quality. Haddonfield Nightmare was great. Don't get me wrong. It just sucks that it's me, Billy, and I know what you're talking about. Never Hike Alone set the bar so high. In terms of production quality, yeah, I would agree with that, but I'd also say that the Haddonfield Nightmare, again, subjective for me personally, tells a better story than those two movies do. And I think story is important. And I think Braden and them put a focus on the story. I mean, It's Me, Billy is one of the best fan films I've ever seen, period. I'm not a Black Christmas guy. I'm just not. And yet, like, the film that they were able to put out there, spectacular. But you also have to, realize that some of these projects, had almost $100,000 raised for them, and have experienced people behind them that know what they're doing. And I can't wait to see what Bruce and Dave do next. Never Hike Alone stuff, that's going to continue. And the Haddonfield Nightmare stuff is going to continue as well. I'm just strictly speaking as a Halloween fan film, it's the best Halloween fan film I've ever seen. When you include visuals, when you include acting, when you include story elements, I do think the Haddonfield Nightmare took the top spot for me. Matt says he can't wait for Ghostbusters. I say I can. Somewhere Mike Bish is cursing my name under his breath because I know he's a big Ghostbusters guy too. I'm just not. IMB and NHA look like total studio all the way through. I can't say that for the Haddonfield Nightmare, but Braden is awesome. My heck goes off to him. Yeah, I mean, you work with what you have, right? Like, I wanted to make sure when we started doing ours that it's like, hey, it's not going to look like that. Ours is going to look like more B horror movie like. And that's fine. Expectations are important. And again, and just to shamelessly plug our other channel, our Star Wars channel, we have a video coming out very soon today, actually. As soon as I go off air, I'm going to publish it over there, and we'll see how it does. His channel's still in its infancy, has like 40 subscribers or so. We need to boost that number way up. Got to go get that channel monetized too. His expectations are important. Expectations are literally the pathway to either enjoyment or not being impressed with something, because sometimes expectations are not where they should or are supposed to be. I think Halloween Ends should do a series, each season dedicated to each timeline, like season 1, Thorn timeline with Jamie Lloyd and Tommy Doyle, season 2 with H2O timeline. We're going to have to see. All I can say is there are definitely talks going on, and Halloween Ends will not be the last Halloween project, and yet you probably won't have to wait until 2028 to see another one either. So Tommy was not used well in Halloween Kills. I thought Tommy would be the type of street fighter and go one-on-one with Myers. Myers is a demon. I thought Tommy was used well because the character Tommy Doyle in the original Halloween movie comes across as a sort of whiny little shit. I've always thought so anyway. And originally, obviously, portrayed by Brian Andrews. And I thought this Tommy, while had the best intentions, was obviously guided by Laurie. You can tell when they have their reunion. It's not like it's been 20 years or 30 years since they've seen one another. She recognizes him. And sometimes in life, too, the worst things come from the best intentions. Matt's going to write a Busta Rhymes sequel. Ugh. Need Terrence to come on here and put you in your place. Went back and read the script. Looks like Richie and the other kid were supposed to be with Lonnie and not those bully kids. Why would they change that? Will the Mulaney's come back? It ends. They changed a lot. Big John and Little John aren't Big John and Little John in the script either. What's up, guys? What's up, Sean? What's up, Toronto Freddy? What's up, Michael Bish? I don't see Toronto Freddy here unless I'm not seeing his comments. There he is. I honestly couldn't finish the Haddonfield Nightmare. Just didn't find it that intriguing or engaging. That's unfortunate, but to each their own. Yeah, my chat is lagging here, guys. Like, I literally have new messages popping up, even though I've already scrolled past this part. So obviously StreamYards is having some issues. I heard Adam West will also make an appearance somewhere on the other side of the studio. My dad actually picked me up it's like a die cast of the Adam West Batmobile, and it has a little Batman and Robin with them. I used to love that show. I mean, it's very cringe, but I used to love that show. The worst things are from the best intentions. Yes. Did I say otherwise? Running on fumes here. Geez, everybody's coming out late. Geez, Freddie's here. Matt's here now. Tommy's here now. G says, I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I'm going to go give the other channel a sub. Got to support the good content providers like y'all. Thank you. It's appreciated. I really wanted, again, while diving back into the content that we are doing here at the channel right now, I really wanted to be able to, like, look, by the time Fandom Empire Live comes out on Tuesday nights, Tommy's tired as fuck. That guy's up super early and does so much. I'm tired as fuck. And to be blunt, usually getting high on air. Kieran works his ass off all the time, so he's tired too. So the Tuesday night show, while we talk about news and fandom-related stuff and have fun and do countdown lists, it's more like a hangout show. We wanted to do something a little more news-centric, a little more in the vein of what we tried to do with Fandom News Now, and thus the Fandom Empire show was born, and here you are with a 45-minute to 1 hour show 3 days a week in the afternoon, in between my split shifts, and it's a ton of fun. Talking Star Wars says Andor's being reported for 3 seasons if the show's great. So this is what I heard. I heard there's the idea of 3 seasons, but I also heard that they filmed so much in season 1 that there's the talk of then splitting it into 2 seasons. And then they'd go back and film a 3rd season. Strictly rumor. Not confirming anything. Although despite what a lot of people have said, you are going to get the Kenobi series prior to Andor. Like, it's rumored that we're just going to get another sizzle reel for Andor, and they're still not ready to show us a trailer. And I believe the main reason for that is Andor was shot in more of a traditional way, where the Kenobi series and a lot of their other series, at least portions of it, are using stagecraft, where the special effects and whatnot are shown or are done beforehand so that they can use the stagecraft tech. Where Andor, to my understanding, is mostly not that, so they have to do post for much longer than those other shows do. See what else do we got here. If the Halloween franchise was rebooted, I think it would be interesting to see Jamie Lee Curtis and Daniel Harris writing. Oh, God. Webbs, I love you, man, and I love your display picture representing CM Punk, but I'm going to pass on anything Jamie Lee Curtis produced. I'm sorry. We're already basically getting that with this stuff. I can tell you right now, a lot of that hospital shit, not originally intended for Halloween Kills. Read into that what you will. I'm assuming Freddie's talking about his work. Or boy, Freddie, I think I can say this. Been doing a lot of extra work on certain TV shows and stuff. Do you think the key to killing Michael Myers is linked to his childhood mask and his outfit he was wearing as a kid? I did not understand the Myers looking out the window a bit. I think there are people that are obsessed with the idea that the classic 78 mask has something to do with his powers. And I'm of the opinion that it really doesn't at all, because he didn't have that mask when he killed Judith. I don't know how much... I really don't know how much 1963 is going to play into the movie anymore. I don't. At one point in time, it was supposed to play heavily into the movie. And now with all the changes that have gone on, and some stuff that I definitely can't talk about on here, but we'll be talking about on the Lampkin Lane Patreon stream November 14th, which you can sign up for right here. Shameless self-plug. Patreon.com/Fandom Empire. Feel free to head on over there and do that. There's a lot going on there, and it really worries me, because I think when you set out to do something, you should try to stick to your vision as much as possible. Obviously, things change on the go, but this is starting to reach Rise of Skywalker territory, and whether you like Rise of Skywalker or not, that movie is really a mess. So I'll have to wait and see what happens. Oh, dude, you're fucking going up there in the world. Going up there, man. Talking Star Wars has 12 episodes, I believe, is season 1. That was the original intent. I'm just curious to see if it ends up being 6 episodes, and then season 2 ends up being 6 episodes. That way they've shot season 1 and 2 back to back, and then they only need to go back and do 6 more episodes for season 3. Not confirming that, but it's definitely out there. It's definitely a possibility. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us on this one. The Fandom Empire Show, episode number 2 in the books. If you haven't yet, head on over. Star Wars Fandom. Just punch it into your YouTube bar. It'll be the first channel that shows up. Star Wars Fandom. Head on over there. Support us. Click subscribe. We're getting started over there. It's definitely... it takes its toll mentally when you realize how hard the YouTube game is when you were first starting, and we went through the same thing on this channel. We're still relatively small here, but we're definitely looking forward to doing more over there, and we have a video that's about to go over there. So if you're an Obi-Wan Kenobi fan, you might want to be on the lookout for that. By the way, another way you can support the channel, click the like button. It's absolutely free. Click subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified when we go on. Check us out on social media, which is listed up there. You can do all that stuff for absolutely free. Anyways, everybody, have a great weekend. I'm going to hit the road because I'm going to be on it for basically from now until probably 10 o'clock tonight. Take it easy. We'll see you on the flip side. Have a great weekend.